section 7.2 has to do with parabolas. We've already graphed parabolas at some level, and we're going to go a little bit deeper in this chapter about it. We're going to talk about 4 different conic sections. And on page 415 in your book, you can see the 4 conic sections that we're going to discuss and how they're derived from taking certain slices out of a double cone. We're going to talk about a parabola, we're going to talk about a circle, we're going to talk about an ellipse, and we're going to talk about a hyperbola. So today the focus is totally on the parabola. The definition for a parabola is it's the set of all points in a plane that are the same distance from a given point called a focus. So here's your focus, and a given line called a directrix. Now we've just been doing the blue part. We've just been learning about how to graph that. We're going to learn today how to find the focus point, how to find the directrix, and how to find the length of the lattice rectum, which in a way, all of those things are going to allow you to have an easier time graphing the parabola. Up to this point, we have only talked about parabolas that open up and parabolas that open down. And then today, we're going to talk about parabolas that open left and parabolas that open right. Now, you have a sheet about parabolas, and it has this information on that sheet. It's also found in your book on page 417. So this right here is about a parabola that opens up and down. And I know that parabola has a y equals, and we're familiar with this equation. This is a parabola that opens right and left. That's a parabola that has an x equals in the equation. So we're going to learn to go down our list and to find all these things: the axis of symmetry, the vertex, the focus, the directrix, the direction, the length of the lattice rectum. So basically, you're going to just go straight down, and if you have found the x, the h, the k, you'll be able to do all this stuff. So you're going to want to keep that handy, the little sheet that I gave you, keep that handy as we're learning to do these. So here's an example. We have this as our original equation. So the very first thing I have to do is I have to put that in the right form, which means I have to complete the square on it. So I'm going to do that up here. I have y is equal to, I'm going to factor out the 2. So I have x squared plus x plus blank plus 14 plus blank. So I factored out the 2. So I take half of 1. Half of 1 is 1/2. When I square it, I get 1/4. I haven't technically added 1/4. I've added 2 times 1/4, or I've added 1/2. Well, if I've added a positive 1/2, I want to add a negative 1/2 here to make it equal. Okay, so then I continue to put it in the right form. So I have y is equal to 2 times x plus, not sure you can read that, let me make it a little clearer. Okay, 2 times x plus 1/2 squared plus, and that's going to give me a 13.5 here because I've got 14 plus a negative 1/2. So here's my equation. Now, based on my equation, I know that a equals 2. My h equals the opposite of what I have, so a negative 1/2. And my k equals 13.5. Now I've really got everything in order to be able to go down my list. So I'm going to pull this back over here. The axis of symmetry, and I know, because this is a y equals, I know I'm on this column right here. So you're on your column that has an up and down thing. So the axis of symmetry says x equals h. So x equals my h value, which is negative 1/2. My vertex, according to this, is hk. So h is negative 1/2 and k is 13.5. Now you could do it as a fraction if you want. My focus is going to be the x value, okay? So my focus is still negative 1/2, okay? And then it's going to be k plus 1 over 4a. So if you look at it, you've got the a value here is 2, so 4a is going to give me 8. So I have 13.5 plus 1/8. So I'm going to do that on the calculator. 13.5 plus 1 divided by 8. And that's going to give me a 13.625. So that's going to be my focus. And then we're going to graph all this. My directrix, if you look at this sheet, it's y equals k minus, and this again would be 1/8 because it's 4 times 2. So y equals, my k value is 13.5, so 13.5 minus 1/8. So I'm going to give you a value for that. I'm going to use the calculator. And I'm going to get 13.35. So I'm going to rewrite it here. Y is equal to 13.375. Okay, the direction, my A is positive. So according to this, if A is greater than 0 or positive, it opens up. The length of the lattice rectum, which in a minute this is going to make more sense, is 1 over A, so it's 1/2. Okay, so now I'm going to use that information right there to graph this equation. So we're going to come over here to the side. I'm going to cheat this way a little bit because I'm not going to have much room on that. So I'm going to go over 1/2, so halfway here, and I'm going to go up 13.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So right about there. Oh, actually, I think it's closer here. Okay, so there's my vertex. I know it's going to open up. Now my focus is negative 1/2, 13.6. So I'm just going to go a little bit above it, and I'm going to put an X. My directrix is 13.37, so I'm going to go a little below it and draw a dotted line. So here's my focus, the X. It's hard to see on this. This one's small, and here's my directrix. Then I'm literally, from my focus, I'm going to go half of this to the right and half to the left. So I'm going to go over 1/4 and over 1/4. And there's my little skinny parabola. Okay? That one's hard to see because it is so small. So let's do another one. And we'll work our way down. All right. This one's going to be a little different. You always solve for the variable that isn't squared. So I'm going to solve for the x. So this is going to be one of those parabolas that open right and left. But you're still going to complete the square. You actually could complete the square, so I'll just leave the 5x alone. I'll complete the square over here so that I have a y squared plus 4y plus half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. Minus 26, but if I've added a positive 4 there, I need to add a negative 4 here. So now I have 5x is equal to y plus 2 squared minus 30. But now I'm going to divide everything by 5. So I'm going to get x is equal to 1/5 y plus 2 squared minus 6. So here's my equation. Now, I'm looking at my chart again. Now, based on this chart, I know A equals 1/5. Notice where the H is. The H is out here. So H equals -6. The K is right here. So the K gets the opposite value. So it's -2. So these two are switched from the other one. The other one has H and K. This one has K and H. Or K and H. Okay, so I've got everything that I need here. Now I go down my list. So the axis of symmetry, which I didn't put on the last one, I'm sorry about that. Y is equal to K, so K is -2. The vertex is HK, so it's -6, -2. Your focus is going to be H plus 1/4A. Now this gets a little tedious here because your H is a -6. The A is actually 1/5. Okay, so you take that A, so now I have 4 times 1/5 on the bottom, so I have 4/5, which is underneath an A, so it's going to become 5/4. So I have -6 plus 5 divided by 4. So I'm going to have a negative 4.75. And then I have the K value. The K value is -2. Okay, your directrix is going to be your H minus the 1/4. So this is the H plus 1/4 for your focus. The directrix is going to be X equals, and it's going to be -6 minus 4.5. So it's going to be a -7.25. Okay, your direction, if you look at this A is positive, so it's going to open right. If that A was negative, it would open left. And the length of the lattice rectum is 1 over the A value. The A value, because remember at the bottom, you've got 1 over the A value. The A value is 1/5, so it's 1 over 1/5 or 5, because 1 divided by 1/5, you have to keep, change, flip. So now I have everything to graph it. Okay, hopefully this one will be a little easier to see. We'll make them a little bit bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -2 is going to be right there. This is also going to be your axis of symmetry. Okay. Then you have a focus. The focus is at -4.75, -2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put an X right there. Your directrix is -7.25. So it's going to be right here. And that focus should be right in the middle between your directrix and, or the vertex is right in the middle between your focus and your directrix. Now, this is the part that makes it easier. I have a the length of the lattice rectum, I don't know why I did an LH, it should be an LR. Okay, same on the last one. Okay, that should be up half of that, so up 2.5, so 1, 2, and halfway up from your focus. You're going to go up 2.5, you're going to go down 2.5, and then you're going to draw your parabola. Okay, so you put the focus on there, you put the vertex on there, you put the directrix on there, you put the axis of symmetry, then you went to the focus, and you went up half of the lattice rectum, which is 2.5, You went down 2.5, which is half of it, because the total distance from here to here has to be 5. All right, let's try another one. Oops, I got some empty papers here. There we go. All right, again, I've got to put it in the right form. So I have y is equal to, factor out the 2, x squared minus 6x plus blank plus 6 plus blank. So half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. But I haven't really added a 9. I've added a 2 times 9, which is 18. So I have to add a negative 18 down here. So now I have y is equal to 2 times x minus 3 squared plus negative 12. Okay, you see it's a y equals, so I know it's going to be the parabola that opens up and down. So I'm going to go ahead and put my values out here. I've got a is equal to 2, h is equal to 3, and k is equal to negative 12. Now, if you know all that, you can do this. Because you know the axis of symmetry is going to be x equals the h value. The h value is 3. So I've got that. The vertex is going to be hk. So I've got 3, negative 12. Your focus is going to be the h value, so it's 3. And then I'm going to take the k value and add 1 over 4a. Well, here's the a, so 1 over 4 times a is going to be 1/8. So I'm going to take negative 12, and I'm going to add 1/8 to it. And I'm going to get a negative 11.875. Then my directrix is y equals, and it's going to be negative 12 minus the 1/8, which is going to be a negative 12.125. The direction is going to be up because the 2 is positive. The length of the lattice rectum is 1 over a, so it's 1/2. So in other words, this is another skinny one. Okay, so I'll draw it here. You're kind of just doing a sketch graph. I'm going to cheat the axis up here since most everything's going to take place down at the bottom. So I have a positive 3 and I have a negative 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So here is my vertex right there. Now you know it's going to open up. The focus is 3, negative 11.87. So it's just a little short of that. My directrix is negative 12.125. So it's on the other side. Again, I didn't draw my axis of symmetry. And then I'm going to go half of the lattice rectum, LR, not LH. I'm going to go 1/4 to the right of that focus and 1/4 to the left of it. I often make my focus an X. And then I'm going to draw my parabola. Okay? Now, this is going to be this is just a sketch graph. This is the important part over here. Okay, because I'm going to go back and I'm going to check your values here, and of course your graph should be somewhat similar to that. Obviously it's hard to show like negative 12.125. All right, so do the best job you can on your homework. I'm trying to get it here. Your homework is page 420, 16 through 28 even.